Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. The whole sustainable living, trying to reduce your plastic, I feel like that whole topic is very hot at the moment, very fashionable. I'm very aware of it being a kind of another passing trend, but it is something that I'm becoming more and more aware of what's going on and the damage that's being caused, but also how much we can change it. We do have the power. Just bringing in little changes into everyday life can make such a difference. I saw a quote the other day, it's about plastic toothbrushes. Oh, it said something like, it's just one plastic toothbrush, said 6 billion people. And it's such a good point that if we all make these little changes, it really does add up. I filmed a video months ago when we first started trying to slowly make changes, and I'll link that below because those are all still things that we're doing, but now we're kind of adding on to it. So this is a kind of update a few months on. So I'm not going to talk about all those things again. Keep cups and straws and reusable nappies, and I can't remember everything, but I'll link it below if you want to watch that one. One of the biggest things for me that has made a difference is just being aware of what I'm putting in the bin, which seems quite obvious. I would just quite mindlessly put stuff in the bin and never think about it, and then take our trash out each week and not really clock. And at first I didn't change any of our routines, I didn't change what we were buying, but I just, every time I put something in the bin, clocked it, just to get to know our waste and get to know what we're throwing away, what plastic we're throwing away. And it was really interesting, the things that came out I started to notice were things that we were throwing away all the time that actually felt quite changeable. So yeah, so I'd say that's actually my first bit of advice, is just awareness, just clocking what's in your recycling bin, what's in your normal bin, and what is kind of needless actually, and what's quite a simple change. So toilet roll, first off, we now have a subscription with Who Gives a Crap. 50% of their profits are donated to help build toilets. It's 100% recycled, no inks, dyes or scents. It's wrapped in recycled paper. So it basically is all recycled and recyclable. Also, there's things I didn't know, like in normal toilet paper, there are tiny little microfibers of plastic that when you flush it down the toilet, release into the water. The packaging that toilet roll comes in, you're chucking that away every time. So this is amazing. And then obviously the fact that 50% of profits go to building toilets is incredible. So that's been a very positive change. We have a great refill shop near us in Brighton, so I've started going there. Picked up this toothpaste, which is a natural mineral toothpaste, and then obviously in a little glass jar. Peppermint and wintergreen. In the last video I'd already changed our toothbrushes, but since then I've also changed the children's toothbrushes. They're by a brand called Onco. I'll try and link everything below so you can find them. Has been just a really easy switch over. Then also in the refill shop, like I was saying about with our bin, I really noticed that our family get through a lot of sultanas. So we all have them on our cereal. Jet loves them. For Jet, they are kind of a real treat snack. We're just starting to potty train, and sultanas are his treat if he does a wee, and he loves them. But I just noticed we're like a big pack like that, just a thick plastic bag, gonna sit in landfill or end up in the sea somewhere. We were chucking away every couple of weeks. So I now pick our sultanas up from the refill shop in these little brown paper bags. These are recyclable, or often I just take it back and refill into this same one. I do our pastas and flour and different seeds and our cereal. They do a really nice muesli. Washing detergent, so I was using like a big fairy that I'd throw away every time. Fairy, whatever, fairy bio laundry washing up stuff detergent. And then last time I took that big container and refilled it with e-cover, which they stock there. So now I'm going to be reusing that same plastic bottle over and over and over again. A few of these things I've mentioned on Instagram, but obviously this is YouTube, so I'm just going to say those bits again. So then also started using this shampoo bar, which is from Shine. It's a hairdresser in Brighton, and one of the hairdressers created this, but you can buy it online. I honestly would recommend it so highly. So it's this bar. You take out like a bar of soap, and in the shower you just kind of rub it over your head. And the first time I felt like such a plonker, and I was like, what, this is so weird. It just feels really bizarre rubbing a bar of soap on your head. Really quickly turned into like a lather. And then you just rub it in like you would a normal shampoo, and it works so well. I actually genuinely feel like my hair is so much cleaner. It takes longer to get greasy than it was before. I feel like sometimes after shampoos the root still felt quite heavy, whereas I mean this is day 3, so don't judge me. But I feel like the roots are just a lot lighter, and I can just tell my whole hair is just cleaner, and it's a nice citrusy smell, and again it's all completely natural. I'm loving finding these changes that don't feel like a sacrifice, as well as being better for the environment with the plastic and better for the environment because it's so naturally made. I love that it's also the best shampoo that I feel like I've used so far, so it just feels really satisfying. And then more toiletry body bits. I feel like I was getting through moisturisers so quickly, and again obviously it's just these big plastic bottles of moisturiser. And also with recycling, it's very tricky. I feel like it's quite a grey area with recycling, because not all areas recycle everything, and a lot of items actually only can be recycled once, and then once it's been recycled it ends up in landfill anyway. So although you're recycling, I think you can sometimes kind of make yourself feel better knowing you're recycling it, but you're only recycling it once and then it ends up in landfill. It's hard trying to navigate it all. But I'm slowly swapping all my skincare, body lotion, all those things to Lush, because they're vegan and cruelty free, and then also the tubs you take back in for them to reuse. I think if you take back in 5, you then get 1 free. Natural ingredients in good packaging. What more could you want? And then for babies' bottoms, baby wipes are a massive thing that I really clocked we were throwing away so many of every day, constantly buying more pack. You know, when you're wiping your children down after feeding them, when you're wiping their bottoms, you're out and about and they spill something, I was just getting through so many wipes. And so we've swapped to these little cheeky wipes by Bambino Mio, and I love them. I would genuinely say, again, like I was saying before with the shampoo, it's not just a change that I feel like is better for the environment. I actually genuinely prefer using them. I found them a bit intimidating at first, but it's genuinely an easier nappy change now, because I find baby wipes, you get through so many, they're quite slip slidey and just a bit annoying. These have such a good grip and you get such a good wipe out of them. And then you need to be near a sink, but I feel like you always are, because if you're out and you take them to change their nappy in a toilet, there's a sink right there. And then at home, I now just make sure I always change them in their bedroom, which is right next to the bathroom. So I wet it, do a couple of wipes, and then go back, rinse it and kind of rub it down so it's relatively clean, then finish wiping them and then clean it and put it in the wash. So I would really, really, really recommend those. Another thing I've mentioned on Instagram, but I don't think I've talked about here, are these beeswax wraps. There's currently a hot cross bun inside this from that Jet hasn't finished after his ballet class. But these wraps are amazing. They're so good. They sell them everywhere. I bought these from Lakeland. Well, no, I actually worked on an ad with Lakeland for these, but I've bought more since then in Lakeland. But I also spotted them in my refill store, and they're just sold everywhere. But they're great because they've got that beeswaxiness to them. They fold and then they just stick and stay closed. When I saw them online, I thought I was going to need to be tying them up with string or something, but you don't. When you see the price, you think that's so expensive. Obviously, cling film is one use and then you're chucking it. You can reuse them. One of our little vices is our Nespresso coffee machine, which I'm very aware. There are a lot of much better ways to look after the environment. We could do loose ground coffee and have it in a cafetiere, but I love our machine. We've got it, I like using it. I think as well, one of the big things with this whole sustainability thing is that you want it to be sustainable. So I think at first I was really put off because it all just felt really overwhelming, and then I just kind of switch off and I don't want to do anything at all because I just know I'm going to fail. And so what I've liked is finding these little changes I can make that I know I can actually keep up, and not kicking myself that I'm not doing everything, but knowing that we are making small changes. Anyway, that's my opinion. So anyway, long story short, we've been trying out these coffee pods which are compostable. These are from Lost Sheep Coffee. If I'm honest, I didn't love the flavour of this coffee. I don't think it's necessarily like good coffee versus bad coffee. I think it's just your taste preference, and I found these quite fruity, which isn't really the taste that I would choose. I also saw on, I think it was Rhiannon Ashley on her vlog, she tried these. She was then going to be trying Grind Coffee, which also do compostable pods. So I think next up, once we use up these, we obviously have more than 3. I just brought a few in to show you. That's everything that I can kind of think of off the top of my head. Those are the more little changes that we're making in our very slow, steady steps towards trying to look after our world, trying to be a bit more sustainable, reducing our plastic, reducing our waste, trying to make this world a little bit nicer for our babies. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was useful. I hope that's given you some ideas and inspiration of other things you could be changing. Please comment below if there's some easy, simple steps that you've taken. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear about them if it's something that we haven't thought about doing yet. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely week and we'll see you soon. Peace out.